Creativity is sort of bred out of us. We are all born creative. We come out of, there's like a famous George Land study that I've cited before, but this guy was hired by NASA to identify their most creative scientists in the 1960s to put them on innovation projects. And he built this study based on divergent thinking, which is sort of like, imagination, no holds barred thinking. And he gave the same study to 1,600 kindergartners, and 95% of them tested expert level creative. But he tested them 5 years later when they were in the sixth grade, and I think only like 20% of them tested expert level creative. And then by the time they were 15, it was like 5% of them. So they didn't travel out, they didn't transfer outside the school. These kids, were kind of taught not to be creative. We're in schools, we're taught that mistakes are bad. In some sense, we make a straight cut ditch out of this beautiful meandering brook. And as we get older, our parents, teachers, school counselors, even our peers start talking about the practical side of life. This school system that we have was built, really formalized in the 1890s to support the industrial age. And it's very much about siloed thinking. We're given these standardized tests that only have one right answer. In school and college, we're given multiple choice tests designed to have one right answer. We're given true false tests where you have to pick one or the other, with really no room for exceptions or creative thinking. Very often, mistakes are the creative part of what we do. And our school system doesn't really allow for that, and to elaborate on that and to lean into it. And then as we get older, default thinking is something that we get stuck on. As adults, we lean on the past. We make a decision, we learn something, and we go back to that, reference that, like in some sense get lazy, and we don't want to challenge something we already know. So like I said before, in the beginning, one of my philosophies is where there's an open mind, there's always a frontier. My default thinking is to challenge default thinking. And that's one way to really stay creative, is to think that way. So when you're a kid, you don't have a past. It doesn't matter that horses aren't purple in real life. You make your horse purple. So those are some, a couple key things. And then there's judgment, when are you going to get a real job? You can have someone spending 60 hours a week making music. They may not be making money, or even if they are making money, people might still say, when are you going to get a real job? And it's just, that's old thinking. We live in this world where creativity is a competitive advantage, where, if you're a lawyer, I've said this before, but if you're a lawyer in the year 2040, say, and you're not a creative one, your job will probably be done in Asia, or it'll be done by a computer. So it's, creativity is more and more and more an essential skill that you need to teach your children today, so they are employable, in the year 2040.